How you doing, guys? Happy Wednesday. Halfway there. Good trading week this week. It's only Wednesday as well. I think I might retire today. Let me just sort out the chat. Okay, should be able to use the chat now, guys. Just check, let me know, and then we'll get going. Not going to spend too much time on stocks predator today. Hey, Otis, Richard, purely because I wanted to do some optimization on ASBs and discuss a bit of confluence with uh, forex type of trades that you can trade futures with. Okay, so let's get going. So stocks predator. I just want to go over a couple of things that we went through the other week. Remember with let me move my ugly mug out of the way. With CX, remember we had a confluence trade down here. Really, really strong confluence move, and we traded this move up. So we had full confluence and we traded long on CX and we took profit up here when it broke this trailing stop. We then pulled back on a wave four and we had another entry at this point. Then it hit the fifth wave target zone and now it's pulled back down again. So in reality, when we see this happening, because remember on the stocks predator, we've got the manager there as well. We can see a retracement from the fifth wave target. That's a high there. And it's on higher than average volume. It's not quite 50%, but it's a sign it may turn around. And then we do get a gap up the following day, but we get a big red candle with higher than average volume. And because it's red, there's more volume than the previous day. If it was cyan, there'd be less volume. So that's a sign it's going to turn down. It closed pretty close to the low. That's when you should be getting out of that particular swing trade with a stocks predator. Another one that's looking pretty good right now, TTWO. So remember, we're in this quite a while, and Captain Mel, one of our users on the forum, so we found confluence here, but we needed to get through this big daily zone, and we did. And since then, we've come down to test it, and it's going pretty strong. At this moment in time, right now, it's been I picked this one for you guys for options trades, and it's in the forum. So again, the forum is only for stocks predator users. And TTWO here, this was my first original one. This is when we weren't through, and this is the entry that I wanted to put on here. So that's my stocks trading journal for TTWO back beginning of September. And then obviously Mal puts his options play on there and a downloadable document that has all of the options play details on here. Okay, trade summary and all that sort of stuff, all that good stuff there for options traders. And then I've just closed it down. Again, so he's on a couple of plays during this move actually, and he's on another one right now. So very, very, very good. And again, all came from that confluence scanner. And then just one more, GWRE, again, full confluence here. And this was the entry here at this point, and it's looking pretty good. I think there's a lot of fresh air all the way up to this sort of move. So again, it came on the confluence scanner, and just remind ourselves what the confluence scanner is. So if we go to the end of day scanner, there's 5,131 stocks from around the world, and we hit the confluence. We want 3 green, and so we've got 22 stocks that are potentials for that, for potential moves. We want to, for me, beta above 1. So we filtered it down to 11 stocks. CIGI, let's have a look at this. I like this. And I'll tell you why, because I see on the Elliott wave, it had a wave for 8 candles ago. So this sort of draws me towards this sort of move. We had full confluence yesterday with the roller coaster, the xBrat algo, the bias depth heat map, and we'd be pretty strong with this. So I think in reality, what we would do, if we were to take this entry today through 162 bucks plus change, stop would be here. We've got a decent risk reward with a target at 177.50. So although we're not trading that fifth wave move from the Elliott wave, it's another confluence that gives us confidence that this is going. We actually breached this pivot, this down pivot here and this pivot here yesterday. So this is a good move through 162.10 or something like that today, with a target of 177.52. So really, it looked good. It looks very good. So hopefully some people will take that on board. Okay, so next. So quick on stocks predator today, because I wanted to do some roller coaster ASBs. Okay, so with roller coaster, we have to be very specific and understand instrument behavior. So it's not just a matter of just putting it on there. So I've chosen RTY purely because I've been working on RTY. And what I've done is I've used on our confluence on the Discord group, we have anchor strategies that are roller coaster. So if I go to here and I go to pinned, you'll see this here is for our confluence for the AI. We're looking at RTY, for example. It's just changed to 16, but we'll have a look at that. But we see the roller coaster time frame and the EMA, and this is what I'm looking for at the moment. And going through these ASBs. So Heikin is good. So I know it's 18 minutes, okay, but we get rid of a lot of the noise the higher the time frame we go, and that's very important. So what I've done is I've put this strategy together and I've optimized it, and it's really good. Now this is a 4 contract version because it's for my trading account. Now I have the strategy performance here, which will blow your socks off. Actually, on the 4 contracts, it's made $62,936 profit over since the end of April. So you think, end of April, that's a long time just for 11 trades, because it's very specific on what it wants to do. I've got a 60-minute time support and resistance zone there, but let's just do some calculations here. So I know as traders, we want to try and get a daily profit, but in reality, we need high quality trading conditions, and they're not always there every single day. When they do arrive, they arrive and they get really strong results. So in reality, from the end of April, we've had May, June, July, August, September. So say 5 months. Yeah. So that's 100 trading days. There's approximately 20 trading days in a month. So 62,936 divided by 100 is on average $629 per day. Okay. But it's not every single day. What we're looking for when we're building automated strategies is just looking for the best fit. Lots of rules in there. So first of all, with this particular one that I've optimized, is we've just changed the time frame, but I was looking at the anchor time frame for our confluence on futures, which was 18 minutes. Now, the next thing for me to do is think, right, 15-minute time frame, even the 30-minute time frame for the Guardian zones is just too close, okay? It really is too close to that. So I need to be 60-minute or even daily. to ensure that I've got the right type of support and resistance that's sort of stopping me from getting in trades and getting out of trades. Now, some of these, as you can see, go sideways, but we print a stop for a reason. It's above all of these pivots. If there's downward momentum, the likelihood is, even though it's going to go flat overnight, it is going to come down and go. And the same with this one as well. We're going in this one at 10:30 a.m. EST, but we carry it through over the night because this thing is locking in profit. Just let it go. Another one here, smaller one, again, goes in through the close, takes it out. Okay, not many trades, but we're looking for runners. Sometimes we have to kiss a few frogs before we get the real big runners. But when we do, we do. Okay, and the setup is there. Times of the day is important as well. When we look at the strategies, and I'm going to just discontinue that now so we can look at those settings. I'd be again if I've got that momentum and that bias depth heat map showing me short at the beginning. I don't mind it going flat for 8 to 12 hours, Phil. To be honest, as long as it doesn't take the stop out. Remember, there's always risk with these trades, but it's acceptable risk. If we put an optimization together where we are happy with that risk, then let it run to the stop. Because in a lot of times it won't run to the stop, it'll just go sideways, and it'll need that next catalyst, that data, that news to basically get it going again, to get that directional flow that's already started going again. So when I look at these particular settings, so again, I've only got the 60 minutes on there, but I want to go to the times first. So on the scheduling down here, so I want a blocking in display on our news events 30 minutes before and 15 minutes afterwards, anything for medium. So it'll just not trade or just switch off for those. Now, the next thing is the times of the day. So you'll see here, I've programmed in 3:25 a.m. to 4 a.m. So when I've gone through that specific optimization, that again, all the videos out there for the classes, that is the sort of the bit of time. Now, 3 a.m. is the London Open and the European Open. So that's when we get more FTSE, DAX, and that sort of thing. That's when we get more momentum, priority, more price action, more volume coming through, and that directional flow. Now, not forgetting during that time, the DAX and the FTSE leads the US indexes. Okay. So, and they're all correlated, and that's correlations are very important, that we understand that time of the day makes sense, that we do get that increase in flow and we get those trades. The next time of the day, 9:50 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. Nice wide instance. Remember, 9:30 is the US Open. Usually you get a little bit of, I mean, yesterday was a prime example. We got a lot of kerfuffle in that first 15 minutes until that that flow, that direction was good, and we kept on going for the rest of that day. Then, with the optimization, 5 p.m. to 5:25, witching hour, we get some decent moves. That makes sense to me. These things make sense. When I'm optimizing, these times of the day make sense to me. Witching hour, okay, a lot more sort of volume price action coming during that time. And then the 8 p.m. to 9 p.m., that's just a nighttime session that is usually pretty hot. So remember, we're looking, for me, I'm looking for the runners, and I'm looking averaging out over those days during that period of time. So I'm waiting for quality over quantity. I'm taking the diamond instead of the coal. Yeah. And trying to shovel coal every day it's a lot of energy. Okay. Whether you're physically doing that to try and find a diamond, or you're actually doing it trading, it's a lot of energy. If you can actually just look for those diamonds at specific times of the day and making sure there's lots of criteria to ensure that you don't waste your energy. In other words, this algorithm works. Uh, it makes a lot more sense. Now, what I've also done on here is obviously my quantities for when I'm back testing the buffer has to be -1. When I'm putting it live, I change that to probably with an index like this to 2. And the buffer's there as a reminder to, if we've got it at -1, if we always place stop market orders, and if it moves through too fast and doesn't take the order, it won't come back and take it. If we've got the buffer on, it will convert it to a market order. As long as it's within 2 ticks of the signal, it will take the order. Okay. One of the other things I've been looking at here is I need with an index, I need a bigger risk profile. So it's $350, 350 ticks, sorry, is my risk profile. Why is that? Purely because we're on a lot higher time frame. So if we're on a 3 minute, we're probably more 50 ticks, but we're on an 18-minute here. So every candle, as we start to get that directional flow coming with a roller coaster, is a lot larger. So that range of those candles is a lot larger. So our risk needs to be larger. The minimum required heat map for me is 5 on the roller coaster. Getting 6 out of 6 really filters out too many potential trades. My minimum risk reward is 127% on the roller coaster on this particular time frame, and that a lot of that was to do with optimization, because when 18 minutes is only a third, if you like, of 60. So we are going to be reasonably close to some of these zones, but once we get the momentum, as you've seen on the chart there, it does push through quite a bit. So again, let's just put that back on. So roller coaster is the simplest of the ASBs. Okay, there's a lot less sort of filters. Obviously, it's for a certain market behavior and condition. When we look at range breakout, it looks for those range breakouts for the US market open, or the oil pit open, or the gold pit open, or in fact the European open. This is more roller coaster. This is stochastic MACD cross with some EMAs in there to basically look for the start of those big moves, those big trends. The slingshot is for that pullback that we get during a trend and getting on those. But roller coaster is the simplest one. This is why I'm doing that one today, purely because we have some decent moves. Yeah, not all are massive. Okay. This one here, I use my tool to measure this one. This one was to take it out at 79 ticks. Remember, this is the frogs we're kissing. Okay, we need to kiss some frogs first before we get the big runners. Okay, now this is the prime example of where it goes sideways. What time did it go in? Okay, and again, if it's a non-day today as well, it's just not really going to do anything. And then when it kicks in and goes down really quickly, it's 24 hours later, okay? But it didn't take the stop out. You get up the next morning, the trade's still in, and it's not taken the stop out. The momentum is down. Okay, you just need another catalyst to get that going, and that's what happened there. Okay, in that situation. In other situations, we can see here, we got again at 10-12. Again, this is, as you can see, yeah, it's entirely up to you. Risk appetite for trading over the weekend. That's something that's an individual thing. A lot can happen over the weekend that sort of upsets the apple cart. A lot of news that can come out. It's a personal thing, really. Depends how far you're into the trade, how much risk you've got on. There's always that risk that carrying over the weekend on a Sunday night that we gap against your trade and you'll lose more money. Okay, so that's a personal thing. I tend not to as best as I can carry it over the weekend, especially if I'm in a very large winning position. That's something you're going to take out. In this particular situation here, we get the momentum that goes up, and then we pull back slightly. This would have been a great slingshot trade here to trade that bit there. But then we go, and that hit the target. Okay, we have an 800 tick target for this particular setup, and it hit the target overnight. This was potentially a decent trade, but we had too much support underneath here. Again, it was around about that 10 a.m., 10:30 time. This really is, again, high risk. We're only 4 out of 6 on the bicep heat map at that point. But what I would tend to do in this situation, so if we must be present a lot of the time, even if we're using ASBs. So let's have a look at this situation here. For me, that's good momentum. It does push through 2 60-minute time frames, okay? There is a pullback. And then, again, this is where having those different ASBs come in. We missed the roller coaster here, okay? We pushed down through 2 60-minute zones. We pulled back, and then it went. This is where the slingshot comes in. We've missed that big trade there, but guess what? If we put the slingshot on, it's more likely to get this pullback and trade. How does the slingshot work? All it does is looks at that initial move, prints a pullback zone, and then looks for that type 1 or type 2 trade, which comes down into this position here. And that is a great looking slingshot trade. Okay. And that's what it's a different type of trade because it's a different type of behavior. And this is why there's not one size fits all. All we can do is build up a system for a specific instrument to begin with to be able to trade. When it's in the groove for roller coaster, we know it's in the groove for roller coaster. It just doesn't take all the trades because there's certain criteria that doesn't allow this to go in. The heat map and the support. But if it does break that, what other type of strategy, market behavior can we trade? And in this situation, slingshot would be perfect. Yeah, it's been quiet for a while because we've not been trending. We need to trend, pull back and go. So this is why having a mixture of those different ASBs is very important because some market behaviors, it just goes flat. For example, I'm in a 6E trade right now with the confluence strategy, and it's doing okay. But to be honest, currencies have been really struggling right now. I'm going down. Okay, so I am using the euro US dollar confluence here. Okay, this was again, this is the testing we're doing for the confluence app. So this is full confluence on euro US dollar. Just make sure I haven't got anything. So this is one of my live accounts. I'm live on it now. So again, even though I've got that confluence, I needed to make sure my entry was below this. You won't see the confluence. This is just my trading chart on NinjaTrader. So this really, I got in later because I wanted to make sure that I was below this 60-minute zone. It's a sensible thing to do, okay? And now we're in profit, 300, 400 bucks, whatever it is, okay? By the way, this is my profit for the week, $7,815. And we're on Wednesday now. And this is basically trading confluence, okay? Very, very simple strategy. And because I'm later into this, all I'm doing is running a 34 EMA down here. Once that 34 EMA goes through my initial entry, I'll adjust the stop to risk-free, okay? By the way, I did take a loser today, but this was I could have win a short. This was a $5,000 trade. So this was a short for on a roller coaster for gold. So this was entry with 2 contracts, 4121.6. I got out at 4095. It was a $5,400 profit because my YM trade was going against me. Okay, you can't see it on here because it's a different strategy that I'm using. But this was my entry long, and I got taken out at this point here. So quick mental calculation when I was on this YM with, I think it's two contracts, or was it three? Can't remember. I was going to lose about $1,500. At the same time, when I was around about $1,000 loss, I was over $4,000 profit on this particular gold trade. Now, I wanted to let it run, but I needed, as a sensible trader with a lot of experience, I needed to mitigate the loss that was going to happen on YM. I knew it was going to fail. It could have turned around. So I took the $5,400 profit to mitigate that loss. Uh, if that, if I'd have kept that in, if I didn't have the YM trade on, I would have kept this in. And right now, this would be at about $15,000, $20,000 profit right now. Okay. But I'm not kicking myself because I kept to some very, very strict rules for me that if I'm going to take a loss in the day and I've got a good trade on, and this was only two contracts, I was $5,000 profit, I closed it out because I was going to wipe out that loss. And my risk on the 6E trade is not a great deal. I'm only three contracts on this. You know, it's been tipping the $400 profit for a while now. We're at 8:30. You know, we've had the gold pit open right now. Looks like it wants to come back up at the moment. But for me, I've made that big leap today, so I'm good. And against, I've actually hidden the live account number, but that is my live account. That's what I've been trading this week. Okay, so I trade what it is. Let me just move that back there. So I've got the RTY running in the background. Let me just go back to that again. I'll show you. Okay, so on the RTY deck here, that roller coaster is live. Okay, on RTY. Even if I get one trade a month and it does 800 ticks, I'm fine. Okay, and that's where it is. And I'm trading confluence as well, sometimes daily. But again, with the confluence, I took the signal for the euro and traded the 6E. Great. Yes, Phil, you're taking the same trade because again, you're one of my ex-apprentices. You've gone through that process. I think the only thing with currencies at the moment is they're very, very flat. The moves aren't there at the moment, where, as we've seen previously with indexes, they are extremely fast, okay? And they're good trades. So even I just made this video today. Let me just go big on this. This was my ES trade on Monday. Okay, huge, absolutely massive. I got full confluence here. And again, the anchor strategy is the roller coaster. And then we go up and we trade that. This was real, by the way, and I traded it. This was me taking a photo of that frigging trade at 10 o'clock at night on my mobile phone on my laptop at home with my wife telling me I've got to go to bed. Okay, so I stopped that out. You can see this is the live trading chart here. I stopped that out at 6,778.50 for I don't know what it was, a couple of $3,000. Yeah. At this moment in time, you know, and this is why we got to think. You know, we keep probing, we keep kissing the frogs with those currencies, but right now indexes are good. Why? Indexes are responding to Trump tariffs, okay? And we got to make hay while the sun shines. And gold is responding to Trump tariffs as well. And so this isn't just a fluke, by the way. Last week or the other week on the Friday when Trump tariffs came out, I made $12,000 on two shorts with ES and YM. So yeah, I mean, you know, these things happen. So again, I just wanted to go through that sometimes when we're putting these optimizations together for roller coaster, for slingshot or the range breakout, whatever it is, we need to understand that Yes, we're going to kiss a few frogs, but we're probably going to go out a bit on the time frames. We're going to probably take more risk, but they're going to be more high probability. And when you average out to $600 a day over the last 5 months, that's a good hit. Yeah. With very, very little drawdown. The idea with this is to really to understand that you don't need to trade every day. I'm being very honest here. You don't need to trade every day. I traded Monday. I didn't trade yesterday, and I've put some trades on today. I've got my automated strategy running for RTY and CL, but I won't be trading again today. Okay. And if there's no real big setups tomorrow, and I don't trade Fridays unless there's a big event and I get a signal, I won't trade. So, I've made hay while the sun shines this week. I'm around just under $8,000 profit for this week so far. Made previous week 12, $15,000. So, but it's not trading every day. It's looking for the runners, understanding the behavior during these runners, especially the trades that we didn't get, understanding that each strategy, an automated strategy, is a specific market behavior. Okay. And that's how to narrow down these. It's not a bot. I don't like saying the word bot. It's an advanced sort of optimization tool for trading automatically. But you need to understand that sometimes those market conditions go flat, don't suit that particular trade. So going out on those larger time frames over a 5 month period and really picking when those instances happen, understanding that the times of the day that those instances happen actually make sense. Okay. London Open for indexes and gold. Yeah. The US Open. And then we've got the witching hour. The hour, it just makes so much sense on these when those times come in. And that's, yeah. And again, when we were looking at this for a starting point on Roller Coaster, when we go to the Discord group on our confluence setup here, if you go that's not confluence here. Pinned messages. This latest one here, we do update this around about a weekly sort of thing. It gives you a starting point for futures. So if gold is your thing, roller coasters on 12-minute with an EMA 21. That's a starting point for you to start optimization. Okay. It just gives you that time frame that's reasonably in the groove. And when we go through all of these, you'll see 15-minute, 14-minute, 13-minute, 16, 16. There's no 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minutes, because like I said before, you've got to dig a lot of coal to find a diamond. Why not just let the algorithm do its thing? Just look and optimize for those opportune times and then average out over the months is very, very good. And that's just one strategy, by the way. Okay. On average, $630 a day. That was what we worked it out. Okay. $630 a day. Now, all of a sudden, then we tie in the slingshot. We look at these trades that we're missing on this particular time frame on RTY, and then we start to optimize on the slingshot to try and look and find and optimize these moves. It might most likely will be a lower time frame, most likely be something like 12 or 8 or something like that. But we will find the groove for these particular trades. Okay. Sorry, I'm just reading this. Yeah, yes. Understanding which strategies are the most appropriate for the current conditions is it's a conundrum really because we just need to be in the markets. We need to understand what's going. But sometimes stepping back and looking at higher time frames actually filters out a lot of that noise. And this is why when we build the confluence sets with the AI, it filters out the noise and looks for those 14, 12, 18, 16-minute timeframes because that filters out a lot of the noise. If you try to go too micro in 3 minutes and 5 minutes, it's very difficult. You get caught up in the noise. So have that broader view and thinking, right, trading is a business for me. I am not going to be shoveling coal 8 hours a day. Okay. What I need to do is get a bulldozer to take a lot of the coal away to find the diamond. By doing that, you've got to get a bigger time frame, optimize it. And this is, my data series here is 180 days. And go look here. It's 180 days. So this looks back. For a start, we need a minimum of 90 for the bias depth heat map and the Guardian zones to print. But for me, I'm on the 80-minute time frame. I've got to think, right, this is not a 5-minute time frame now. This is 18 minutes. I need to look back 6 months. Yeah, I need to look back 6 months, and I need a wider, bigger bulldozer to get out that coal and just find the diamonds. And actually doing that, I'm getting push notifications now on my iPhone, Euro US dollar stop update. Okay, that's working. Sorry. So again, what we have is we're just looking for the diamonds. Yeah, this happens 10, 12 a.m. EST. Okay, even if we decide, again, I can't stress enough here. If we get a pullback here on a slingshot and the slingshot enters, now all of a sudden we're in more contracts because this has identified the pullback and it goes. Okay, really, really strong. There were trades that we didn't get. There will always be flat sessions. But there's trades that we didn't get, and Slingshot will pick up those pullbacks. Okay. You'll notice some of these didn't get taken purely because the risk was too high. And again, that's filtered in to there. So here, for example, risk was way too high on this particular trade here. I mean, we measure this. I've got a max risk of 350. And again, when I put the optimization together, I probably start at 500 and work down. That's only 238. It just didn't take the trade because it was out, not in the time. But we had two pullbacks during this. Slingshot would have got one of those and traded that move. Yeah. So it's about getting that arsenal ready to have those tools for those different market conditions. And that's very, very important. Okay. So I'm just going to, anybody got any questions on the roller coaster or in just optimization in general? Okay, Brent. Thank you. What time we've got in the US. So yeah, it's not 6E is just hanging around. The main thing is for me is not one more candle. My 34 EMA will be below there, and I'll make it risk free, and it'll be just above the wick of this candle. Okay, so the 6E is a 12-minute Heikin-Ashi in line with the 12-minute on my confluence setup as well. Okay, we can see with the confluence for Euro US dollar, those that when we release the app would have already been locking in profit here. I'm getting the push notifications through on my iOS phone now. It's there's a lot. Okay. So yeah, that is working very well. So Phil, I'll only share them for futures because otherwise it just gets too much. So and they're on the Discord group, like I said, for in the futures confluence strategy, in the pinned messages, in that thing here, that is where all of the futures timeframes are for confluence right now. We will stop sharing these at the end of the year when we launch the app. Because the AI will be updating them and we won't be able to cope with all that. But they're there for now. But again, we're only sharing the futures ones with people right now. Um, but that euro US dollar is going very, very well. Yeah, so am I. Yeah, it's been a trudge with Dev. So, but we are getting there. It's making some amazing trades. Really is. Oh, this has just pushed through that support there now, which is really good. Got about 7 minutes before the next candle change and my EMA goes through on this particular trade here. It's really good actually. It's not a bad looking trade, but I think it's with currencies at the moment, they are a slow boat. The thing is for me is, I would definitely make this free before the US market opens. And to be honest, on the next candle change in 7 minutes, the EMA will go through there, so I'll make it risk free anyway. Um, yeah, on the gold, uh, yeah, yeah, it looks like it'll be taken out pretty soon. But this move has been phenomenal. Just to the trading stop is 386 ticks. Ah, Phil, you had a first crypto confluence trade. Nice winner. The problem is the algorithms can't dictate what time of day they come, and that's an issue. So that old adage, "You can sleep when you die," comes to mind when you're trading sometimes. But catch the ones that you can, and that's the big thing there. But yeah, this trade is good, and I will be making that risk free. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. Just seeing if the app's actually got anything in at the moment. I don't think it has on crypto. Yeah, no. Crypto confluences are pretty much all amber right now. Okay. I think it's probably because we've actually just we did some changes and updates, so might not be there. The active trades at the moment is US dollar CHF long, micro gold short. The gold short is still in, but we had an internal error that closed it out too early. They're on that right now, and the euro US dollar short is still in. Um, so yeah, which you can see here. Okay. Let me just move that chat out of the way there. Sorry, I'm trading that 6E on another account as well. And I did get a slightly different entry. So with that one, I'm making that risk free now. Okay. It's on a different chart. No, it's on a VPS actually. Okay. So the gold trade was, I did the confluence trade here. So I got in at this point here. I was looking at multi-time frames, but basically we had the big rejection at this 30-minute zone here. And then on other time frames, I had confidence this was going to go in. But I took the trade, I took the $5,400 profit because I was going to have the loser on YM. That's the only reason I took profit. Because if I'm in a losing trade and it looks like it's going to lose, and I got other trades open, I had three trades open at the time, the 6E, GC, YM, I need to ensure that I mitigate the risk of that loss coming in. It was about $1,500, 5,400 still give me 4,054 today. Yeah. And then obviously for the week so far, 7,800 because I had that ES trade as well on Monday. But this now, coming down here, this would have been a $20,000 trade. It is what it is, um, another day without a losing trade. I'd have just followed this and made the $20,000. But it is what it is. Um, you know, um, this is doing pretty well for 6E, you know, and so simple for me. This is not going to come back. Candle change is going to be in approximately 2 minutes 54. That's not going to reverse. So what I'm going to do is drag and drop that just above there. Whoa, it's going now. Okay. Um, so I'm now risk-free, just above that pivot, just below the entry. The candle's going to change in the next couple of minutes anyway. We're over $500 profit on this particular trade right now. That's going to take my profit for the week over $8,000. On GC, I'm on the 12-minute Heiken Ashi, yeah. We got a red candle on this. I'm looking on the manager on another chart set for this 6E trade, and that's higher than average volume and a big red candle. This one is, and we're looking to close in less than 2 minutes. So we'll just watch this through. Anybody got any questions on anything else? I know, Sylvia, you came in, you are a stock predator user. So please ask any questions what you've got. I just want to see this trade through to this. Whoa, there she goes. $581 profit now. This could turn gold around, by the way. Gold and 6E are correlated together usually. Positive correlation. Bit of live trading for you guys, okay? And you have to take my word for it. I did get the gold because you can see it here. This was the entry, that was the exit. And if you work it out, 412, 1.6, 4095, 5.3, that's quite a big move in itself. You know, that was $5,400 profit there. But I had the loser on YM. That was a frog I kissed and bit back. No problem. Thanks, Sylvia. We got oil pit open in 10 minutes as well when I finish this session. So being risk-free before any sort of catalyst event, oil pit open, data, there's no data today. You know, US market open is always a very sensible thing to be, okay? You know, been in this trade quite a while now, but like a lot of currency moves at the moment, they're very short. But this is going to make a great video for our xBrat AI app because it's a forex trade. I've just recently done one on crypto trade and futures. So you know this just fills the gap now that we're looking good. So yeah, you can see if we zoom in a little bit now, my 34 EMA. I have just got the push notification as well on the on my iPhone to adjust the stoppers again for the euro US dollar trade. So you know that's, and also the stock price for MGC has changed as well. I got that push notification through. So those are push notifications coming through well on the iOS. We're just pushing a big update at the weekend for Android. Can't guarantee I'm always going to be live trading during these sessions, guys, but I am today. Only trade when there's a trade. I look for reasons not to trade. And the reason for me to get in this late, because I needed to get through this support zone. Even though I had the confluence signal, with futures, I just wanted to make sure I was below that because I was putting 3 contracts on. Now risk 3 with these 3 contracts, and sensibly I've put a take profit just inside this 30-minute zone. Sometimes we see the dip in to these support zones and then just reverse. So what I've done is put my take profit. So in reality, this is about $1,500 trade if it gets down to there. It's not a massive trade that, you know, compared to the gold trade, but they all accumulate and they all add together. So I used the confluence strategy for this, Otis, on the full confluence with euro US dollar to get in the 6E trade. 6E is euro futures, goes the same direction as euro US dollar. Okay. And now, because I'm again, my confluence is on TradingView. I trade on NinjaTrader, so I just get the chart on there, and I just put the EMA they've got on Confluence just so to help me to do that. Bear with me a second. Got to adjust this other one. Yeah, it's again, it's on NT8 is different because futures close. It's the behavioral patterns on futures compared to forex is slightly different because you get that close. Okay, whereas on forex you don't. So you get that slight variations. But be aware, and if you watch it again, Otis, I will be contacting you personally, but we are having a special early bird offer for, we're calling them the 100 for the app, which will get it before it's launched in January 2026. They'll get it for 18 months at a special price because those 100 will be, in theory, our beta testers, and you'll get direct communication with myself and the dev team to feedback as well. But you're going to get a really good deal on that, and there's only 100 available. So those people that I constantly sort of email with or on Discord, they will get that personal invite from me to become part of that 100, and you'll get the app between the middle of November and the end of November, in theory. Gold's turned around again, guys. Still going. Turn around. So has anybody got any questions on anything we've done today? Because, we've done quite a lot. So the app, Sylvia, is also on a web and on your phone. So you'll get push notifications on both. And when you subscribe, you will get an app, a web version like this with a community in it and all that sort of stuff. Signals dashboard, your profile settings, notification settings, so you can take all those out and everything like that. And you'll have the same login for either iOS or Android. Cheers, Phil. Thanks for coming. So you'll get app version and mobile version. Yeah, it's on iOS, Android, and the web. And the deal is $999. You get 18 months access plus couple more months because you're going to get early bird this year. All the way to July 2027, you're going to get access. And you are going to get access to forex, crypto, and futures. So you can't use it for equities at the moment. That's phase 3. Futures, forex, and crypto. Okay, guys, I'm going to finish for the day. Great spending time with you again, and I'll see you all next week. Cheers, everybody.